Hello, welcome. This is lesson 9.1, solving systems graphically. Just like we can solve a system of two linear equations, we can solve a system of quadratics using similar techniques and methods. Because we are dealing with quadratics, we will have two intersection points to look for. We won't always have two intersection points, but we always have the possibility of having 2 points of intersection. Graphing, to solve by graphing, we graph each function on the same plane and name the points where the two functions intersect. You can also use a graphing calculator to do so. And I will additionally also be showing you how to do so using online graphing calculator, Desmos. So let me first go through the steps for graphing on a graphing calculator. Okay, so step 1, push the y equals button in the top left. Step 2, enter both equations, one under y1 equals and the other one under y2 equals. Step 3 is push graph, and you'll see that in the top right, the graph button. The y equals button in the top left is right below the screen, and so it's the blue buttons at the bottom, right below the screen. Step 4, you push the second button and then trace, and then number 5 for intersect. For step 5, push enter twice and move to the first point and then enter. And it'll prompt you to move to the second curve, move it to the same general point of where they're intersecting, and hit enter again. For step 6, repeat numbers 4 and number 5 for the second point if there are two intersections. So looking at example 1, we've got y equals 3x squared plus 13x minus 9 and y equals 2x. Show what that looks like on the graphing calculator. So the first thing we do is hit y equals in the top left. And there I've already entered in y equals 3x squared plus 13x minus 9. And on the second line I've written y equals 2x. And then to see what they look like, we hit the graph button. Here we can see the line, the diagonal line that goes from the lower left up to the bottom top right. And then the two lines that cross through it are actually part of a parabola. If you zoom out, you hit the zoom button, and then number 3 for zoom out. There you can see a little better what's happening. You can see the parabola as it dips down and the other line that crosses through it. Another useful tool is to go to zoom and use the Z-box function. And you have a little blinking cursor that you can move so that you can focus on the parts. Once you've selected the top left corner, I use the down arrow key to move it down first and then over, so I can look at open up a window. That's the box, is the zoom into this box, and then it'll focus on whatever you see inside the box. Now we hit second function, trace, which takes us to the calculate menu, and we hit number 5 for intersect. The first curve, and it tells you, is 3x squared plus 13x minus 9. So I put it right near the intersection of those two lines. Then the second curve, and it defaults down to y2 equals 2x. And I move it to just the right of that space close to that intersection, and then I hit enter again. It asked me to guess, so I hit enter again. And so then it tells me the intersection is at negative 4.355 and a negative 8.71. So let's round to hundredths place. So that'd be negative 4.36 and negative 8.71. And then for the other point of intersection, we repeat that process. So the first curve, I just keep moving. It's off the screen, but I can see its x-coordinate is at negative 0.9, and I know it's going to be up there close to 1. So now it's appeared up on the screen again. Hit enter. And then the second curve, I'm going to move it just slightly to the right with the arrow keys, and then hit enter again. It asks me to guess. And I missed something, so just go through and try that again. And then it gives me the second point of intersection, which is at 0.68. We'll round that to 0.69. And then the y-coordinate is 1.38. We're also asked to sketch the curves, so we can just use the sketch of those curves. If I zoom out, See, the one line goes like this, and the other curve, the parabola, does that. And so then we can see what this thing looks like. These are our 2 points of intersection. Those are our 2 solutions. It's important to remember that when you're graphing a line of an equation, every point on the line is a solution for that equation. Every x and y coordinate fits into the original equation as a solution for that equation. For example 2, I'm going to show you how to use an online graphing calculator, Desmos, to solve this system of equations. So we open up our browser and we type in desmos.com. When you type in desmos.com, this is the screen that you see. So I'm going to type, or just do start graphing. And then I enter in each of the equations like I would if we were using the graphing calculator. So the first equation is y equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. And the second equation is minus 3x squared plus 5x plus 4. And I switch back over to Desmos. And just like with the graphing calculator, I only put in the part that's to the right of the equal sign. So 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. And if you're looking off to the right, as I went through and typed that, it just changes automatically as you type it. So then I hit enter, and I get a chance to enter in the next equation where it says 2. So I'll put in negative 3x squared plus 5x plus 4. And here I see in the blue one is the equation for the line below, negative 3x squared plus 5x plus 4. And the red line over here to the right is the equation for the top one, 2x squared plus minus 3x plus 2. Now if I tap on one of these, a number of things happen. You see the vertex of the blue line up here, and if I move my cursor over it, it shows me what that vertex is. It shows me the y-intercept, it shows me each of the x-intercepts, and it shows me the points of intersection between the two lines. And so I can use Desmos to then just write down what those points of intersection are. I can also then use this graph to help me graph the sketch of the two equations that I need to graph on the other sheet. So if we go over back here, I'm going to just jot down the 2 points. The left one is negative 0.22. So I wrote down those 2 points so that I can copy them onto my sheet here. Negative 0.22 and 2.756 is the one point of intersection. The other point is 1.82 and 3.164. So on this one, sort of comes down and goes up like that, and the other one does something like that. And so there's the two parabolas. Those are the graphs of those two equations and their points of intersection. All right, let's go on to example 3. Example 3 is a little bit different because now we're going to have an absolute value equation, and I'm going to show you how to do that again on Desmos. I sort of like using Desmos because it's faster. So we can use the x to clear these out, so we can write in new equations. The first equation is x squared minus 5x plus 3. And the second equation, negative 2 times absolute value of x minus 3 plus 4. So we type in x squared minus 5x plus 3, and then the second equation we type in negative 2. Now for the absolute value, there's a button down here that says absolute value of a, and that's what we would type. So absolute value of x minus 3, and use the arrow key to move outside of the absolute value, plus 4. Negative 2, absolute value of x minus 3 plus 4. And then you can use your mouse wheel, or you can use the plus or minus screen buttons on the side of the screen to zoom in or out of this. But this is what those two things look like. Once again, if you touch on one or the other, you can see where they cross the where they cross each other, where they cross the x-axis, and where they cross the y-axis, as well as their vertices. And so their points of intersection are 1, 0, and negative 4.5 and 0.9. Yes, so once again our points of intersection is 0.807 and negative 0.385 and 4.541 with 0.917. One of the equations, the absolute value goes up, comes back down sort of like that, and the quadratic formula, or the quadratic equation, comes down and back up like this. And once we have that sketch, then we're done. Alright, this is your chance to go and practice, get some of these problems done. Once again, if you need any help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at 801-413-3363. It's a Google Voice number that I've set up to receive and make calls for students and their families. All right, thank you all. Have a good day.